What's going on YouTube? It's Flock Nation Fumbles and we're back with another video. Today we'll be talking about week 4 NFL predictions, who I think is going to win the games for this week. Starting off with tonight's game, we're going to be talking about Seattle versus the Arizona Cardinals. Seattle won last week against the Saints in a pretty high fashion. Arizona barely lost to the 49ers, I believe. Let me look. Sorry. Yep, they lost 16-15 to the 49ers. So, I believe that the Seattle Seahawks are going to beat the Cardinals in a close division game. Sam Darnold, they've only lost once, I believe. Yeah. Let me look. Seattle's 2-1, yeah. So they've only lost once, and that was in week 1 to a costly fumble. I'm going to put Seattle winning the game. Let's do 23-17. Making them 3-1 and dropping Arizona to 2-2. Next game on the schedule is a Sunday early morning game, 9:30 a.m. It's going to be the Minnesota Vikings at 2-1 versus the Pittsburgh Steelers that are also 2-1. This could potentially be a trap game for Aaron Rodgers. He is 41. He's getting up there in age. And I can feel like he probably is not a big fan of playing this early in the morning. I feel like I believe JJ's still out for the Vikings, so Carson Wentz is going to be playing. The Vikings boat raced Cincinnati last week, and Pittsburgh barely beat New England. So I'm going to go with the upset here, and I'm going to take Minnesota Vikings winning this game. Let's go 24-17. Next up, to start our 1 p.m. Games on Sunday, we have the Los Angeles Chargers, who are 3-0, against the 0-3 New York Giants. Giants aren't particularly doing that great this year. They finally benched Russell Wilson for Jackson Dart, so Jackson Dart's getting his first start. Chargers defense is playing pretty decent this season so far, and Herbert's having a hell of a season as well. And I don't think Jackson Dart's going to have like a breakout first rookie game, so I'm going to go Chargers 30, Giants 14. After that, another 1 o'clock game, we have the Tennessee Titans versus the Houston Texans, both 0-3 teams. Cam Ward has shown signs of really good quarterback play, but the coaching and just lack of playmaking on both sides of the ball have hindered the Tennessee Titans this year. But they also are playing the Houston Texans, whose offense has not been great. C.J. Stroud's been pretty disappointing this year. Houston lost 10-17 to Jacksonville, another division opponent. I believe Tennessee could probably pull out this win. I'm going to go Tennessee 17, Houston 16. I think it's going to be a close division game, and Tennessee's going to get their first win of the season. After that, we have the Washington Commanders at 2-1 versus the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons got pretty embarrassed last week. They lost 30-0 to the Panthers. Washington, without Jaden Daniels, they beat the Raiders in pretty good fashion. I'm not sure Jaden Daniels is coming back or not, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. I think they mopped the floor with the Falcons. I'm going to give them, let's do 33-10. Yeah, 10. After that, we got another 1 o'clock game. The New Orleans Saints at 0-3 versus the 3-0 Buffalo Bills. This is just another game, a cookie cutter game for the Bills. They've basically got cookie cutter teams on their schedule this year, so they're going to have a very easy road to get the #1 seed in the AFC. Bills should have no problem with the Saints. Gonna be a blowout. I'm gonna say 34-7. After that, we have a really nice 1 o'clock game against two NFC juggernauts this year. They're both 3-0. One of them has to lose. We have the Philadelphia Eagles 3-0 at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3-0. The reigning Super Bowl champions Eagles, they have looked a little rough, but they find ways to win. They've won tough games against the Chiefs. Their Week 1 game against the Cowboys was a really good game that they pulled out, and then they came back against the Rams. On the other end, Baker, the Bake Show, he has pulled games out of his butt on the last drives to win his 3 games this year, even with an injury-depleted team. This one's a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go with the Bake Show. I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers finally giving the Eagles their first loss this year. Yeah, I think Baker's gonna pull it off, and the Philadelphia, they can't just keep on struggling and win. So yeah, and it's at home for Tampa Bay, so I'm gonna give them the edge. And Tampa Bay's gonna beat Philadelphia. Next up, we have a 1 o'clock game as well with the Cleveland Browns versus the Detroit Lions. 1 second, sorry. The Detroit Lions. No, sorry, Cleveland Browns at the Detroit Lions at 1. Cleveland's coming up off of an upset win over the Green Bay Packers that no one saw coming. Got their first one of the season. They got a pick off of Jordan Love. But Detroit, they played really good ball on Monday. They basically bullied Baltimore all game. I don't know if they're going to be able to bully Cleveland's defense like Baltimore's. Cleveland keeps offenses in check. I think this is going to be a lot closer than people think it's going to be, but I still think Lions just have too much offensive firepower, and Joe Flacco or DJ Gabriel, whoever's going to start for Cleveland, it's not going to happen. I think Detroit wins like 24-14, and they'll be moving on to 4 now. After that, we have the Carolina Panthers at New England Patriots. I'm not too sold on the 30-0 win that Carolina put on Atlanta last week. Bryce Young, I don't think, had any passing touchdowns. New England, they have some issues, but I feel like at home they should be able to take care of Carolina, and Drake May and New England get the W for that game. Let's see here. That's all of the 1 o'clock games. Now we're heading to the 4 o'clock games. We have the Indianapolis Colts against the Los Angeles Rams. This is going to be another game that I'm going to keep my eye on Sunday. Colts have been very surprising this year. No one predicted them to start off 3-0. No one predicted Daniel Jones to do pretty good this year. But in my opinion, I don't think they've beaten decent quality teams. Maybe Denver Broncos. But we'll see how they stack up against the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are coming off a devastating loss to the Eagles, where the Eagles have owned them. I think the Rams give the Colts their first loss of the season. The Rams have a very good starting defensive front, and I think that could potentially give problems to the Colts. We'll see how their O-line stacks up against the Rams. I'm going to go Rams 24, Colts 20. After that, we have Jacksonville Jaguars at the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco 49ers is another 3-0 team that I'm not so confident in just because they're injured so much every year. I believe Brock Purdy's out. Nick Bosa's out for the rest of the year. Jacksonville's should be 3-0. They shouldn't have lost that game to Cincinnati. They pulled off a close win to their division rivals, the Texans, last year. And yeah, like I believe that Jacksonville's going to beat San Francisco and give them their first loss. So I'm going to put Jacksonville, let's do 21, San Francisco 17. Alright, now to the 425 games. We have two of them. We have the Chicago Bears at the Las Vegas Raiders. Chicago pulled a very surprising win last Sunday against the Cowboys. And no one was expecting that. No one was expecting Caleb Williams to pop off like that. And then we have the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm not the biggest fans of the Raiders. Like that, I like Geno, but I just don't think this team overall is that great. I think Chicago pulls off the win. I think they're going to win. Let's do 26-14. And then another big game of the week. My Ravens are going to Arrowhead to play the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Monday night's loss to the Lions was pretty disappointing. Our defense really needs to tighten up on a short week against Patrick Mahomes, or this could potentially be another ugly game for the defense. Kansas City's defense is pretty good with Chris Jones. Lamar's 1-5 or 1-6 against Patrick Mahomes in his career. Derrick Henry is a little bit of a concern with his fumbles. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we tighten up all of our mistakes and we go to Kansas City and pull out this dub. But I think it's going to be a close win. We're averaging about 37 points a game. I don't know if we're going to be averaging 30 to 40, or I don't know if we're going to be putting 30 to 40 up on Kansas City. So I'm going to say it's going to be 27 to 24 Baltimore. I think we're going to win by a field goal. And then after that, the Sunday night football game, Green Bay Packers against the Dallas Cowboys. Both of these teams got disappointing losses last Sunday. Green Bay against Cleveland, Dallas against Bears. This is going to be a good game, in my opinion. Both teams are going to be in bounce-back mode. But I feel like Dallas is going to pull off the win here against Green Bay. I feel like Dak's probably going to have a wild, good game. We'll see how the Green Bay Packers defense does. I know they're very good with Micah and all that. I could see it being potentially a high scoring, so I'm going to put like Dallas winning 34 to Green Bay's 30. And lastly, we have the two Monday Night Football games. We have the New York Jets against the Miami Dolphins. These two teams have had disappointing seasons so far. Miami's, I believe they haven't won a game, and neither has New York Jets. So one of these teams have to get their first game of this season win. I'm going to go with Miami. Just feel like Tua and their offense is just better than the Jets. It's probably going to be a low-scoring game. Well, Miami has, like, the worst defense besides, like, Baltimore this year. It's given up the most points, but I don't know. I'm not sure if Justin Fields is playing or not. But I'm going to give Miami the win, 20-17 over the Jets. And then, lastly, we're going to do Cincinnati Bengals at the Denver Broncos. Yeah, I don't know if it's wave the white flag for the Bengals this year yet. We'll just see if Jake Browning recovers from last week's pretty bad loss to the Vikings. But I don't see them beating Denver at Denver. Denver and Bo Nix barely lost to the Chargers last week, so I'm going to give Denver the win here. I think it's going to be 24-7. I'm going to do that. And that's it for all the predictions. Please like and subscribe, and enjoy your football on tonight and Sunday, and I'll see your pretty faces later.